Today we will see how the Navy bias will be implemented using scikit-learn in Python by using the various variants of Navy bias. So there are three variants of Navy bias on the same number of different probabilistic distribution. So first is the Bernoulli, multinomial and Gaussian. So the first, that is Bernoulli, is uh, a binary distribution useful when the feature can be present or absent, or the 0 and 1. Second is the discrete distribution and is used when a feature must be represented by a whole number. For example, in natural language processing, it can be a frequency of a term. Is particular frequency of a term is how much time particular word appear on the document, we can say, if we consider the document, right? So third one is the continuous distribution categorized by its mean and variance. So how it can be implemented using the scikit-learn, that we'll see one by one. So first is the Bernoulli Navy bias. As we said, it's a random if x is a random variable and is Bernoulli distributed, then it can assume only two values, there is 0 and 1. As Bernoulli is a binary distribution, that's why it assumes only two values, two probabilities, that is 0 and 1. So probability of x will be p if x is equals to 1, and it will be q if x is equals to 0, where q can range from 1 minus p or from 0 to 1. We are going to generate a dummy data set, Bernoulli Navy bias, expect binary feature vectors. We are here first generate the dummy data set. On that we are applying the Bernoulli Navy bias, which expects only the features with the binary vectors. Has a binary, also the binary Bernoulli Navy bias has a binary parameter which allows us to specify a threshold that will be used internally to perform the features. So this can be done like this. So we are making the classification of 30 samples by considering 30 samples. So NB sample is equals to 30, xy is equals to make classification n samples is equals to nb samples. So NB samples means 300, features we are considering 2, and informative we are considering 2, and redundant 0. So this can be classified like this. So using two, there are only two distributions, that is 0 and 1 or yes no type, right? That's why it is shown in two colors only. So we have decided to use 0.0 as the binary threshold. So each point can be categorized by the quadrant where it's located. Okay. So quadrant means 4 quadrants we can consider. So from sklearn we are importing the Bernoulli Navy bias classifier. From that we are selecting the train test split data set. So we are splitting that data set into training and testing. In that, for testing we are using only 0.25% of the whole data set, right? So BNB is equals to Bernoulli we are applying. In that threshold we are considering 0.0, which we consider as binarized. We are fitting that training classifier on the x train and y train, and we are calculating the score using x test and y test. So what will be the score? 0.85. So the score is rather good. But if we want to understand how the binary classifier works, it's useful to see how the data has been internally binarized. So it can be binarized like this by using various quadrants. So these are the 4 quadrants that can be considered. So now checking the Navy bias predictions, we obtain data that array. So the prediction of that data will be array 0, 0 and 1, 1. This is all about how to predict the data using the Navy bias for the binary distribution. Now multinomial Navy bias. So multinomial Navy bias, we know that discrete data set we require, or discrete distribution is there, and which is useful to find out the frequency of particular term from the whole data set. Feature vector represent the frequency with which certain events have been generated by a multinomial distribution. This is the event model typically used for the document classification. So multinomial distribution is useful to model a feature vector where each value represents, for example, the number of occurrences of a term or its relative frequency. Okay, as we said, particular number of occurrence of particular term or their frequency of occurrences on the particular document. To calculate that, this distribution is useful. If a feature vector the formula, we will see how it can be implemented. So if the feature vector have n elements and each of them can assume k different values with the probability pk, then it can be distributed like this: p of x1 is equals to x1 intersection x2 is equals to x2 intersection, like this, is equals to n factorial divided by pi of I xi factorial. Okay, so this is the formula that we have to use to calculate the frequency or to compute the frequency count. Corresponds to the applying maximum likelihood approach. But in this case, it's important to consider the alpha parameter, which we called it as a Laplace smoothing factor also. Here we can use the conditional probability, which computes with the frequency count, corresponds to applying a maximum likelihood. But we know that in that, if certain data is present in the testing data set but not present in the training data set, at that time it will give the value as 0, right, which cannot be considered, which can be handled using the smoothing parameter, right. So that can be considered as a Laplace smoothing factor. So that's why we have to handle that, we are using the alpha parameter, and the value of that particular alpha parameter default value we are considering as 1.0. Clear? So which prevents the model from setting null probabilities when the frequency is 0. Okay. So here is an example given with the two data set having the two data: house number 100, street 50, shop number 25, car 100 and tree 20. In second data that is house 5, street 5, shop 0, car 10, trees 500, river 1. So here we can say in second data one more feature is used, that is river is equals to 1, and in first it is absent, right. So in that case we have to set the alpha value, because in testing it is given and in training it's not given. Okay, so note that the term river is missing from the first set, so it's useful to keep the alpha equal to 1.0 to give it a small probability, right. So the output classes are 1 for city and 0 for the countryside, so which can be imported using the multinomial NB like this, so which is tested on the dummy data set over here like this. So as expected, this will give the correct answer. So this is how we can use the multinomial distribution over here, or multinomial Naive Bayes distribution. Now third one is the Gaussian Naive Bayes classifier, so which use the continuous data, right. So continuous values associated with each feature are assumed to be distributed according to the Gaussian distribution, which is also called as the normal distribution, right. So when plotted, it gives a bell-shaped curve which is symmetric about the mean of the feature values as shown in the figure like this. Okay, so Gaussian Naive Bayes is useful when working with the continuous values whose probability can be modeled using the Gaussian distribution, and this is the formula for Gaussian distribution, that is probability of x is equals to 1 divided by under root of 2 pi sigma square e raised to power minus x minus mu whole square divided by 2 sigma square. So this is the Gaussian distribution formula. So the conditional probability are also Gaussian distributed. Therefore, it's necessary to estimate the mean and variance for each term using the maximum likelihood approach. Okay, so this is quite easy. In fact, considering the probability of Gaussian, we get like this formula. So this can be implemented here. K index refers to the samples in our data set. Okay, and probability is a Gaussian itself. So this will implement on the IRIS data set like this. So from sklearn we are importing IRIS data set and we are loading that. So now we are storing the feature matrix X and response vector Y. Okay. Splitting X and Y into training and testing set. So here we are splitting like this. So training the model on training set. So we are training the model on the training. So how it can be done? Using the Gaussian NB we are training the model like this. GNB is equals to Gaussian NB we are considering, and we are fitting that on the X train and Y train data set. Now we're making the prediction on the testing set. So prediction is equals to predict X test, right? So comparing the actual response values with the predicted response values. So this can be predicted using like this. So Gaussian Naive Bayes model accuracy in percentage, matrix accuracy score multiplied by 100. So it will give us a 95% accuracy. So like this we can find out the accuracy or the class level using the Gaussian Naive Bayes classifier. Clear? So these are how the three variants of Naive Bayes can be implemented using the scikit-learn in Python. So this is all about for today. If you like my video, please subscribe, like and share my